Hi, it's Deanne. Let's talk about conflict. What happened in your body when I just said that? Like, I don't like conflict. I don't want to do conflict. Or, I'm ready to go. Like, I need people to be following what I'm asking for them and not be questioning and, just follow our procedures and everything will go smooth. Well, if only you were working with machines who would just do what you told the way you programmed them. But since we're working with humans, let's talk about some strategies. So notice that when we anticipate, or maybe we're going along just fine and all of a sudden we realize that we're not on the same page with somebody, notice in your own body what can happen. Like, I'm going to exaggerate, but notice if like all of a sudden it's like, ugh, right? If you're just kind of flowing along and you're breathing, but then all of a sudden it's constricted. Well, there's these things called mirror neurons that whatever's firing in our body, the other person's going to feel it. I mean, I'm sure you've walked into a room before and felt the tension in the room, right? That's because we all vibrate. We all have energy that we're putting off. And, I understand that on the one hand, that can sound pretty woo-woo, but they discovered this by watching monkeys and having them connected in a way that they realized that their neurons were firing as if they were picking up food when the caregiver was picking up food to go feed them. So, I'm sure you've heard that, like surround yourself with the kind of people that you would like to be with or people that you admire, that people will lift you up and inspire you just by being around some good role models, right? That's because literally your brain is firing as if you are doing similar behaviors in sports, right? What are you practicing? You're not imagining falling on your face and tripping at the starting line, right? You're imagining a strong start and big strides and your whole body and muscles being connected, being in that flow, right? And then we're more likely to do it. So these strategies have been around a long time. Now let's apply them to those places where in our thinking mind, we might get glitches or get stuck on, but they weren't supposed to think this way, or I was already clear, or they didn't give me time to prepare, right? Those are all ways that we get into that stuck place. So when something comes up and you feel yourself, or maybe even, want to withdraw, then see if for a moment you can get your observer self, right? Like as if you saw the movie Inside Out, that command center up there, right? Have somebody up there in the command center going, oh, interesting, there was an alert down there and somebody's panicking, right? Like, okay, but we don't know really if there is a panic, right? I might smell burnt popcorn, but it doesn't mean the building's, the building is burning down and that we need to run out, right? So it doesn't mean that it's an emergency. And those of you who have heard of the SCARF model before, it's very fascinating that we have similarities in the kinds of things that we get triggered for. Our sense of status, like, am I being questioned here in front of other people? Is somebody else going to look like they know what they're doing more than me, right? Our sense of certainty. So I thought this is what we were doing at this meeting, or I thought that I have my place here and something's gotten thrown off, or there's these changes. I don't know what's going to happen. Our sense of autonomy, like I want to be in control, or you gave me this project and I made decisions about it. And now you're going to tell me you wanted me to do it this other way. So our sense of autonomy. Right? And then our relatedness to others. So are we still on good terms? Are you okay with me? Is this, you're questioning me? Does that mean we're not good here? Or can this be a friendly tennis match where we're just like bouncing things back and forth? The last SCARF, so the last one is fairness. And that's one of the biggest ones that, all the way from kindergarten on, right? That we all want things to seem fair. So anytime our perception, our lightning fast perception brings in something and makes it like a threat, you're going to feel that or the And it's important that when that happens, that we initiate our observer self. If you do mindfulness meditation practice, you'll be very familiar with that observer self to say, what am I telling myself right now? What's my story? And we'll get into that some more and challenging those stories. But today what I want to talk about is putting yourself in that other person's shoes. So in order to calm your system, see if you can get a sense of curiosity, like, how fascinating. What would cause them to say this or to challenge me in this way or to have these body mannerisms? It seems like they're upset about something. And so to come at it from curiosity buys us some time, right? It helps us gather more information. but it will also give you an opportunity to acknowledge the other person, which helps them settle down and feel like, okay, we're on the same team here, right? We may not be on the same page, but we're on the same team, that we can work this out. So by having some curiosity, you just take some breaths and you start observing, like, what makes you say that? Or, oh, so you think that when this, it means that. And it will also cause the other person to check themselves and have their own observer self, right? Because you're firing that in your own brain. You're going to activate that within them. And we don't have complete control over people, but you're going to inspire their brain to do the same thing of like, where is that coming from? Is this just a quick judgment from my past experiences, or have I thought this out, or is what I'm thinking about this person, like that they're the enemy or they're a threat, matching what I'm getting from them right now, because their breathing is deep and their face is calm, and they're leaning in to me and they're saying, what makes you say that? So you're inviting the other person to share, but at the same time, you're intending to be in their shoes. Like, if I had that kind of face or that kind of tone, I would think this or that. And for just in the beginning, imagine just that the person has the right and that their story comes from somewhere. It's their whole life of conditioning that you can't control, but that their story comes from somewhere, meaning it's not personal, right? It's not just all about you all the time, which we're so quick to take personal because then I can do something about it, right? But that defense actually works against us when we take things personally and then are reactive instead of let the other person own, give them the responsibility for whatever their thoughts or perceptions are right now, and let them be accountable for it by saying, what makes you say that? And then feeling into them and see if you can be empathetic, like, I can see where if you perceived it that way, then you'd be upset, or you would feel pressured, or you wouldn't feel like you had the information you need. Let's see what we can do about that. And even though you might know you've sent 5 emails that described all that, maybe they didn't get them. Maybe they don't think they got them. There's some glitch to be figured out. And so having that spirit of curiosity, this is what I'll leave you with today. I want you to try to experiment with that. And yes, there's many other complex factors going on, and we'll explore all those other little pieces, right? This is just one piece. But in the spirit of curiosity, go through your week and just imagine, like, what's that person's story? Or how would I feel if I had those mannerisms or that position, or was defending myself or explaining myself in that way? And just see what you come up with. Chances are you're going to feel yourself like settle back in. You're going to feel more confident because you're going to have more breath. You're going to be more, taller. You're not going to be swirling in their story, and you're going to be able to be more grounded and observant. Okay, so this week I'm looking out my window at the snow swirling around, and that's what inspired me today. Is, sometimes when things come our way, we can't see the beauty in it. Like, we can't see wow, this exchange here is going to really help us clarify our systems or our process or the way that our 2 personality styles connect and our assumptions that we make. But instead, we can really get in the swirl of it and get lost in that. Okay, so curiously observing helps us step back and notice what are the dynamics that are going on for either person, and then we'll feel like we have more choice, which calms our limbic system, which then helps get more blood flow into our prefrontal cortex, and that's where our creativity and the most insightful, new perspectives land. So inspire that part of your brain with curiosity this week. All right, take care. Until next time.